So, after months of us fans stressing and wondering what's going to happen with the lightweight division, what's going to happen with the next lightweight title fight, who's going to get the next lightweight title shot, we finally have our answers. Okay? Our problem has been solved. We now have a lightweight title fight. Dana White just announced the new main event for International Fight Week, and I couldn't be more hyped. Charles Du Bronx Oliveira versus Ilya El Matador Topuria, not La Leyenda. I'm glad he abandoned that nickname. It was pretty corny. El Matador goes hard, but June 28th, International Fight Week, bro, for the vacant belt, too. It's not going to be for no interim. And it's interesting because Islam did say that he wasn't going to vacate his belt and that he's going to keep his belt while moving up to fight Jack Della Maddalena. But I wonder what changed. I wonder if maybe the UFC just told Islam, nah, if you're going to move up, you have to vacate your title. Like, that might be a new rule now in these weight classes. Because, I mean, Ilya had to vacate his belt to move up. I mean, he claims he couldn't make the weight anymore. I call cap. I just think he didn't want to. I think he didn't want to fight Volk again. Not because he was ducking him. It's just he didn't have any interest. Because he's been there and he's done that, right? And that allowed the chance for Volk to move forward against someone else, win, and make Ilya look good and for Ilya's win to age well. Whereas if Ilya would have beaten him twice, people would just say, well, Ilya just beat a past prime Volkanovski. How great of a win was that anyway? Now in hindsight, it looks like a good win. And it shows only Ilya at that division could stop a guy like Volk. But now he faces Charles Oliveira for the vacant lightweight strap. It's not the Islam fight we all wanted. Unfortunately, Bilal Muhammad dropped the ball and let the whole world down. But Islam Jack is a good fight. And this fight in its own right is a really good fight. Charles Oliveira and Ilya Topuria. And honestly, this is a way better matchup for Ilya than Islam was. Because now there's an even higher chance that Ilya Topuria can become the lightweight champion. And I do think that's going to happen. I've always been picking Ilya in a hypothetical matchup with Charles Oliveira. I've always thought that Ilya would beat Charles. Whenever it was announced that Ilya was going to move up to the lightweight division and this fight was teased for a few months as a possibility, I'm like, man, if these two fight, I think Ilya Topuria is knocking him out. His hands are too clean. He hits too hard. He's got that lower center of gravity. He's got that small man skill. Um, and I just think that if Oliveira cannot impose his grappling, if he can't consistently take Ilya down, because I do think he'll take him down, but he's got to be able to take him down like a lot, like he did to Chandler or Ferguson. And he has to be able to keep him down and keep him down long enough to submit him. Because if he can't do that and it's just striking, I know Oliveira is a very good striker, very good kicks. He's got decent hands in his own right. He's got some pretty good power, good Muay Thai. Ilya's boxing is just, it's levels above Charles Oliveira's boxing. And Charles makes way too many mistakes on the feet. He has a knack for getting caught by power strikers. He got rocked by Chandler in both fights. Not even Patty got rocked by this current version of Chandler, which is pretty embarrassing if you're Oliveira. Poirier dropped him. Gaethje dropped him. And if those guys can drop you, I think Ilya is definitely dropping him. Ilya's fought at lightweight before, but I think this version of Ilya at lightweight is going to be an even better version of the Ilya who fought Jai Herbert. I think he's going to hit way harder than he did in the featherweight division. And Ilya is a very good finisher. Like, he's not going to fumble the finish once he hurts Oliveira, like Michael Chandler, like Dustin Poirier, like Gaethje. Because guys like that, Chandler swings for the fences, no technique. Whereas Ilya's surgical when he goes for the finish. He picks his shots. He's got great shot selection. He knows how to finish the job once he has you hurt. Or guys like Poirier and Gaethje, they just were afraid to follow him to the ground. I think Ilya will be confident in his own ground game to, if he drops Oliveira and he's still conscious, I think he'll be confident enough to go to the ground with Charles, but smart enough to stay out of those dangerous positions that could get him submitted while being able to land effective ground and pound to get the finish, or he might just knock out Oliveira entirely. I think Ilya's career is going to follow the exact same script as Conor McGregor. Because Conor McGregor, like Ilya, 7-0 on his rise up the featherweight division to a title shot. Conor McGregor, like Ilya, fought a long reigning dominant featherweight champion, Jose Aldo. Conor beat Aldo. Didn't defend his belt, moved up, and in the end had to vacate his title. Became double champ, and then Aldo got his undisputed title back. And now look what happened recently here. Ilia Topuria is kind of following that similar Conor McGregor storyline. 7-0 at featherweight, knocked out a dominant featherweight champion, Volkanovski. Got one defense, but similar to Conor, wasn't chasing dominance and was trying to speedrun that legacy. Now is going up to lightweight. Volk's the featherweight champion again in Ilya's absence, like Aldo. And now this is a chance for Ilya to complete that Conor McGregor storyline. I think it's destined to happen. I want Charles Oliveira to win. I want him to become champion again. And now that Islam is gone, this is Oliveira's chance. And another thing, too, is I'm not worried about the 35 curse anymore. Volkanovski gave me hope. The first ever 35-year-old to... or he's 36, but the first man 35 and over to win a title fight in the weight classes lightweight and below. First ever 35-year-old featherweight to win a title fight. So if Volk could do it, Charles could do it. It's not the curse I'm worried about. Oliveira looked really good in his last fight against Chandler. Showed no signs of slowing down. I'm just worried about the Ilya being too good curse. There's no curse there. I just think styles make fights. I think Ilya is a horrible matchup for Oliveira. I hope Charles gets the belt back, but I think Ilya will become 17-0, two-division champion. Although, speaking of curses, undefeated fighters in 2025 are 13-22. So, there's a chance maybe Charles might become Ilya's first loss in 2025. It's possible because this is Ilya's second lightweight fight, but his first lightweight fight against an elite-level lightweight, a former champion. Someone as good as Charles Oliveira. Charles might have the tools to get it done. We're just going to have to find out on the night of. But yeah, I'm going with Topuria. But then as far as the rest of the card goes, co-main event, Pantoja versus Kai Kara-France. I mean, this fight, I knew it was going to happen on this card. I mean, it's been in the works for a while. I'm pretty sure, on the low, Pantoja and Kai were preparing for each other on that specific date. The UFC was just yet to announce it until they could, confirm the main event. We got Paulo Costa versus Roman Kopylov. That's interesting. But Neil Dariush versus Renato Moicano rescheduled, which I'm glad the UFC is rebooking this fight. That was always the fight to make. Janata Deniz versus Justin Tafa. Brandon Royval versus Manal Kape. Okay, yeah, this card is amazing. Great card. International Fight Week is set. Jack Hermanson versus Gregory Rodriguez. Vivi Araujo versus Tracy Cortez. It's women's MMA. Who cares? I mean, I like women's MMA, but these kind of women's MMA fights don't excite me. This isn't like the official bout order. I don't think this is like the official main card order. I wonder what the main card is going to look like. But I'm stoked for International Fight Week, man. But what I will say is the UFC, they need to be prepared because International Fight Week is cursed, okay? A lot of big fights on International Fight Week tend to get canceled, especially last minute. So I think the UFC needs to come prepared with backup. Get Arman Tsarukyan to weigh in as a backup. Or if not, if the UFC is still going to punish him for botching that last title fight with Islam, have Justin Gaethje weigh in as a backup, okay? Because Gaethje's been asking for a title shot. Have Gaethje weigh in just in case anything happens. And then, should something happen to Ilya or Charles, Gaethje last minute can slide in. You can start training camp right now, prepare for Oliveira or Topuria, cut weight, get ready, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. That's what the UFC should do with either Tsarukyan or Justin Gaethje. They have to be prepared, man, because if we lose Ilya versus Charles, There's no way they're going to call up one of these other lightweights on the card. Beneil is coming off 2 losses. Renato Moicano just lost to Islam. They're not going to give him another short notice title fight. It has to be a lightweight contender coming off a win. There's no other option. Or you know what? Paddy the Baddy could also weigh in as a backup. That could be another potential option. But the UFC needs to be prepared. Hopefully nothing happens though. Hopefully this whole card just stays intact and the main event stays intact. But speaking of International Fight Week and, Dana White announcements, UFC 219, Dricus Stillknox du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev is official. Finally, this fight's going to go down. I mean, it sucks they didn't just put this on International Fight Week. I mean, they could have been prepared having 3 title fights just in case there's one fallout, because I do not want to settle for Pantoja versus Cara France as the International Fight Week main event, but great matchup. I've been waiting for this fight for a long time, and we'll finally see what Khamzat is all about. But Khamzat does have the 2025 undefeated curse against him, so I'm a little bit concerned for Chimaev because I feel like he should win. I feel like he should beat Dricus du Plessis. But this could be the matchup this could be where Khamzat potentially loses, because this is his first world champion he's fighting who's an active title holder. He's fought former champs like Usman, like Whitaker, who he ran through. But now he's fighting a current champion in their prime, and DDP, he's well-rounded, he can strike, he's got power, he also has good grappling, he's more battle-tested over 5 rounds, he's proven to have very good 5-round cardio. Chimaev always slows down after round 1 when he can't finish you early. And if Chimaev does not fix that cardio or the pacing in this fight, and he's in that same shape he was in against Burns or Usman, I do think that Dricus du Plessis is going to finish him within no later than 4 rounds. And Dricus in the 4th round is pretty dangerous, because in round 4 twice is where he did the most damage to Strickland, and round 4 is where he really turned up and started cracking Izzy and finished him in the 4th round. But there's also a chance that Khamzat could just go out there and run through Dricus du Plessis. Like, I don't have an official prediction. This could really go either way. Like, I don't know who's going to win. I really don't know. I mean, we've seen Dricus get ragdolled in the 1st round against Derek Brunson. Brunson was out wrestling him, ground and pounding him. I think had him in some bad submission attempts as well. I can't remember. I got to watch it again. But that was a long time ago. That was pre-nasal surgery Dricus. Post-nasal surgery Dricus don't play. So I don't want to apply that logic that just because Bumpson had a great 1st round against Dricus, that means that Khamzat's going to finish him in the 1st. We don't know that for sure. Every fight's different. I'm sure he's going to prepare for Khamzat differently than he prepared for Brunson. And we're going to see a better Dricus than what we saw in 2023. And the version of Dricus we saw in that last fight against Sean Strickland was just next level. He showed that he's more than just a Looney Tunes merchant. But either way, I'm stoked. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below on all these matchups. Who do you got winning? DDP or Chimaev? And also Olivieira Topuria, who's going to win? I kind of want Chimaev to win, because I keep predicting him to be champ by the end of the year, and he doesn't get a title shot. Now he's getting a title shot in 2025. I want him to win just so I can get my prediction right for champs by the end of 2025. Because I think I predicted him to be a middleweight champion by the end of 2024. And he didn't get a title shot that year. So I hope that the time is now. And I like Khamzat Chimaev, but I don't know, man. DDP is a bad dude. But like and subscribe, and peace out.